24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Good evening and welcome to Love SA. I am your host, Pastor Strike, and I'm so excited to be your host tonight because I've got wonderful things lined up for you, most especially when we look at this evening's Love SA, because tonight I have a guest and I know she will inspire you dearly. And not only one guest, but I've got two guests that I know they are going to be a great inspiration to you. Remember, Love SA is about the Nehemiah phenomenon. What is it? Somebody said, don't ask me what my country can do for me, but ask me what I'm doing or what I can do for my country. And that's what Love SA is about. It's making sure that we contribute positively to the building of our nation. We know we cry of joblessness, and these are realities that we face as a nation, that we're crying about jobs. And yes, it's understandable. There are no jobs, but keeping on crying does not help. Complaining is very cheap. Even the poorest of the poor can buy it. So Love SA is about who are you? Who are you exactly? Who am I and why am I here? What can I do? What is my contribution? And I just want to take this time and welcome you all, my viewers on YouTube and those on Facebook, and all of you, my friends on Bold Moves Radio. And tonight I have my guests. Guest number one is Pastor Joylene. Pastor Joylene, you know her as a pastor, a senior pastor of Manette Tabernacle, but at the very same time, she's a businesswoman. She runs her own events business at Farm Life Gardens, and she's also a florist. But tonight, the beauty of it all is that the one of her mentors is here, and that is none other but this is Fiso, Fiso Mtshali, and she is a great woman. She's been working for Eskom for 12 years as an accountant, and then now she started her own business, which she's running, and it's called Happy Pentals. And this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor and the privilege of introducing these ladies, and we're going to journey together in her business. She specializes on training. And tonight, let's welcome Fiso. Sis Fiso, good evening and welcome to Love SA.
Good evening, listeners, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much. And we're so glad to have you. You know, with your flower right there, it just tells exactly about Fiso and what she's passionate about. And I know your class for today in Polokwane, they are seeing the works of their hands as they see the background. Thank you so very much. And Pastor Joylene, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Pastor Strike. Good evening, and to all the viewers and the listeners from all social media platforms.
So you ladies, today you have made up your mind to make sure that when we look at you, we must see your brands. I see HVL events on you. And let's hit the ground running. All my friends and all of you, my viewers, what we're going to be looking at tonight is zooming into these two ladies and look at what they are doing, to be like Nehemiah, to build South Africa, to make South Africa a better place. And I'll just straight away talk to my sister Fiso. Sis Fiso, you've been working for Eskom and as an accountant. You know, one thing that is very, very important today is what we call job security. So you were, to be honest, secure. Let's just tell us, how did you go about, or how did you start, or even think of starting your own business, and when did it start?
Thank you so much. Happy Petals was actually formed in 2018. The reason why I actually started Happy Petals is because I was not really happy with my full-time job, but I just needed some distraction only to discover it's actually my passion. And after realizing that I am actually spending more time with Happy Petals and I'm happier, then I've been considering resigning, of which I actually did end of July this year. And I'm more happier. So I've been conducting trainings ever since 2020 during the pandemic. And I've realized that it's actually helping more people to actually start their own businesses instead of them being employed because there are no jobs, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And let's just talk a little bit about being employed, because again, one very important thing is, when you are employed, you say quad. Let's talk about your life as an employed woman.
I really enjoyed working for Eskom. It is a great organization, but I've discovered that I'm not a corporate person. I'm not a person who will sit in the office and balance books the whole day. I don't like it. I was not happy for that. But if I'm on the streets communicating to people, meeting new people, traveling in different provinces, like now I'm here in Polokwane for a workshop that we just had from yesterday, and today we did our flowers. So I'm happy. So I felt I was a bit stuck and could not explore all the avenues. So I've discovered that I've got this passion of which I'm willing to share with other people as well.
Okay. Let's now hear from Pastor Jolene. Pastor Jolene, as a pastor, one thing that is very true. People, when they look at a pastor, they just look at somebody who must just be standing behind the pulpit and preaching. And as a pastor, you're also a businesswoman. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike, and to all our viewers. Pastoring is a calling. You never say no. When God wants you to do something, you have to, because He's the creator. He is the master plan of our lives. But in us, there are gifts and talents that He Himself has bestowed in us. Now, I realize that even as a pastor, there's some things that you can do. We learn even from the Word of God. You realize that Peter had a fishing company, let me call it that way. The woman with the little jar of oil, the story, I love it so much. The woman was told to go build capacity. And from there, she was told to go and sell. That is business, according to me. So to me, it liberated me to know that I can serve God and still unleash the skills and the talents that God has given to me to do what exactly the woman was told, that she must go sell the oil and pay all her debts and live with the rest. So at the very same time, I just look at myself that I've got a passion, to do something. And the Word of God also confirms it, to say He blesses the works of our hands. So that is the way that keeps me, growing and loving to be in business at the very same time serving Him.
Okay, let's now take this time and just remind my viewers and my listeners, you're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and the program is called Love SA. And we are live on Facebook, that's Bold Moves Radio Facebook page, and also on Bold Moves Radio YouTube, and on Bold Moves Radio, which is streaming throughout the continent. I know it streams worldwide, but you know what? We have branded Bold Moves Radio specifically to the African continent because we share the very same things. And we wanted this platform to be a very inspiring and educational platform. So thank you, those of you listening on Bold Moves Radio, those of you on YouTube, and those of you on Facebook page.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7. Bold Moves Radio.
Nakupenda sana, oh Africa, nakupenda sana.
Yes, you're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and I'm your host, Pastor Strike. Sissy Fiso, let's talk about, every business, when it starts, it has got its ups and downs, one thing for sure. And you don't just start and things start flourishing and flowing just like that. What can you tell us about the dynamics of starting a business?
Okay, I will talk about the flower business.
Yes, specifically, yes.
Thank you so much. The challenge that we face as florists is that flowers are seasonal.
Okay.
And you will get a customer who will request a specific flower and you will find out that it's not in season.
Okay.
So it's more about educating clients as you go along. So that's what I discovered. And another challenge is transportation.
Okay.
When you've got arrangements and then you need to take them to the venue, you need like a truck because you cannot pack them on top of each other. So that is a biggest challenge at the moment for florists.
Okay. And Pastor Jaylin, let's talk about events. Events also, the other day, I've heard of somebody who had set up next to a water feature, and the next thing the wind came, took everything and threw it in the water. Let's talk about events, your business specifically. What were some of the challenges that you had to face starting your business?
Yeah, it's only that when you are in love with something, you get the strength to continue. But it's not that it's easy. That is why it needs patience, it needs love, it needs encouragement. You need to be able to encourage yourself. Clients, they come, number one, with their own expectations and with something that you have agreed upon. Sometimes they can turn in the last minute to say, no, but I said this. So you need to be strong, mentally and physically also to carry those discouragements. At the very same time, natural disasters, like you said, I remember very well the story of a person who the client said, they need their setup closer to the dam, so that there can be the water view. And nature is nature. Rain came and everything collapsed and was swept away. Now, when you look at those things, sometimes you go to, let's say you don't have your own establishment, but you're going to set up in a specific venue. You can also have accident with your equipment where you can incur breakages and all those things. And, that is why it needs us as event organizers to grow to a point of professionalism where we have got contracts and all those sort of things just to cover ourselves also. But we grow, challenges makes us to grow. So some of the things, it's our school fees, because some of these things you will not learn or will not know until you experience them. But at the very same time, it's very important to keep a group that you network with so that you learn also from their experiences, that you guard yourself even before it comes to you. So there are quite a number of challenges. Sometimes it's cancellations. Where sometimes you have to refund, it becomes very difficult, most especially in the pandemic, because it was beyond people's control. They have to cancel some of the events or the engagements that they booked and deposited. So it needs a lot of things. It's not about being able to put things together and decorate, but at the very same time, it's about growing also in professionalism.
Thank you so very much to our friends also on Facebook. I see Fiso's class on Facebook. Yeah. Thank you so very much, ladies. And also to our friends that are joining us on Zoom. Thank you so very much. I acknowledge you. And thank you. You're listening to Bold Moves Radio, and the program is Love SA. And my guest tonight is Fiso and Joy Lynn. These ladies are business women, and they do things with their hands. And without any waste of time, we live on YouTube, Bold Moves Radio YouTube, and Bold Moves Radio Facebook page, and also on Bold Moves Radio streaming throughout the continent. And Sis Fiso and Sis Joylene, yeah, let me call you like that, guys. I think it's better for me. You said something, Fiso, that you started during the pandemic, 2020. That's when you started training. That's the time where people say everything is stuck, nothing is working. And I don't know whether it's coincidence, but Joylene also, she started a flower business, being a florist during the pandemic. The pandemic says to people, things are not working out. Business is not working out. You know, everything goes down. Many people lost their business. But you ladies, you came out with business during the pandemic. What inspired you, and how did you conduct your trainings during the pandemic?
Actually, I started before the pandemic.
Mm.
So I attended like a training as well in 2018.
Okay.
And then I started doing flowers,
Oh, yes.
doing it for weddings, parties, and so on.
Okay.
But then I realized that most of the event planners, they're actually outsourcing flowers.
Okay.
So now they're taking some of their profits to get flowers from external people.
Mm.
So now I then thought it would be better to actually train these guys so that they don't take out from their profit. So everything is in house.
Oh, yes.
So then in 2020, just before lockdown, then I did the first training in Newcastle, my hometown. And then it went very well. And then we hit level 5. So we couldn't move. So I stopped. And then around October, and remember during pandemic, we were working from home. So I had more time to plan my things, to strategize and to do all those things. And I realized that I can actually travel to other provinces as well, doing the same training.
Okay.
But now I can only do it on weekends because during the week I'm at work. So I then started around October, I think we were on level 2. So that's when I started traveling to Durban during my workshop. So I can safely say the pandemic worked for me, worked for my business. So that's when I thrived. So that's when it actually grew during the pandemic.
And then, Sister Joy, how did you become a florist? The fact that you love flowers, that we know as a family, you really on our case when it comes to flowers. You know, she will tell you, please, I need my flowers while I'm still alive, while I can still smell them. And even now that she's a florist, Fiso, she will say, you guys, you don't stop buying me flowers. But the joke is you have to pay her to do her own flower. So tell us a little bit about how you came to start a florist business.
Okay, thank you so much. So me also, the pandemic became the right time for my florist or flower arrangement business, which I never thought I will. It never crossed my mind that one day I will be a florist. But how it started, because everything was on hold because of the pandemic. Now, one was just seated at home, not doing anything. But, you know, I thought, and then after all this, how will I grow my business, the events company? I felt instead of me outsourcing the flowers, like she said, Fiso said, you know, I used to go get flowers for my events. Then I felt, no, man, this is the right time for me to get another, or to grow my company for me to arrange my own flowers for my events. And that's when I came into contact with one of my moms, Mom Rebecca Ndlebe. And it was June, I think we were in level 4, somewhere there. But because it was one-on-one, you know, I would travel there and at least we had at last. So that's how it started as a strike. I think the pandemic became the right time, you know, to stretch me and realize that there's something that was lying dormant in me.
Okay, and then Fiso, is it mas kakane? She says, "Hi, Fiso. I think you know her very well."
Yes, definitely, definitely, Pastor Strikes. Like I travel South Africa, like I visit each and every province. So Nonhlanhla is actually from Durban.
Okay.
So she attended my workshop, I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yes, she's from Durban because I travel and conduct my workshops, balloons and flowers.
Wow.
Yes, so she attended one of my trainings. So she is my student. And I've got a big WhatsApp group that has about 300. Those are my students that I've trained.
I think even there was on Zoom, they must be your students. And ladies on Zoom, you are free also to chat. You can communicate to us on the chats there. And to drop in whatever you love to drop. And we still watching Love SA, and we're listening to Bold Moves Radio on Love SA is the program. And let's talk now. You ladies, you're saying something, and please, I'm tempted to ask. Because sometimes when you look at something, you might see the positive or the negative side of it. Pandemic was a hard hit, but you guys, you came up with something that's when you traveled, that's when you did training, that's when you started your flourished business and all that. What can you say to somebody who says the weather is not favorable? Because sometimes just because it's cloudy, just because it's raining, it may seem not favorable, but you can turn things around. What can you advise us about that? Fiso, this is Joy. Just advise us. What do I do? Because sometimes the best one or the least one can do is to fold my hands and say, everyone can see. There's nothing we can do, So what can you advise us from your experiences, how you stood up, how you did something, and that now you're living and you're touching people, you're touching lives, and you're inspiring people?
It's always good to be positive. If you've got a positive mindset, nothing is going to stop you. So if you think you can do something, go for it. And it's even worse if you've got passion. If you're pushing something that you're passionate with, it doesn't even feel like work. You can even do it in 1 a.m. without any complaints. So I believe with me, it was passion. I was training people wearing masks. We couldn't, we in the venue, we were supposed to be 1.5 meters apart. 1.5 meters apart. Because I'm passionate about it, and I believe that during pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs. So people were actually jobless and they didn't know what to do. So the only option was to start their own businesses. So that was actually an opportunity just to give them life and light in that midst of the pandemic.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's powerful. And then Joy?
Mr. Strike, we can say there are difficult times, but sometimes difficult times are times where you don't have an alternative except to look deep in what you have. And that's what I can encourage someone there to say. You may think you don't have anything to do, or there's nothing that can help you out of the situation. But with me, as a pastor also, I always refer to the word of God. God will not use something which is far away from you to take you out of your difficult situation. Sis Fiso said very well that passion also, and also that which you have. When you look at the woman with the jar of oil, it was something that she had. She was in a difficult time, but something that she had. When you look at the widow of Zarephath, it's something that she had that made or sustained her and her son throughout the 3 years of drought. So sometimes our difficult times makes or causes us to look at or to realize and discover that which we have. And it may not be something tangible, but it may be an idea. I want to believe, even during the pandemic, some people, they started, fit cook businesses because they were at home, they did not know what to do. But when you encourage yourself and look as for what is it that I can do, to get that rand, to get that cent or whatever, then from there you grow the thing. So that's what I can say. And also being able to encourage yourself, like she said.
Very powerful, very powerful. My viewers and my listeners, it's easy to make excuses, but excuses, they don't pay the bills. But it's important to think outside the box, when the weather is not favorable, what then is favorable? What then can I do? It reminds me of the story of these two gentlemen who were in this particular country, and they saw people walking barefooted, and one of them said, "Sure, these people are poor. Look at even elderly people walking barefooted." But the other guy thought, Hey, if I start a shoe business here, I'm going to be a millionaire. Look at my market. So it's how you look at it. That's why we say your attitude determines your altitude. You're listening to Bold Moves Radio. The program is Love SA. And we are saying, what is it that you have in your house? And we said the topic tonight, find your one thing and run with it. You know, it's not many things that makes you stand or that makes you great. And on that note, I want to now talk about you meeting, Sis Joy and it's Fiso. How did you guys come together? Because it's like you are twins when it comes to hard work, when it comes to thinking, when it comes to creativity.
Okay, let me start that one because to me it has been a blessing. I said I went for training in Guyana in around June. Then around September, because there's this woman, and I wish she's listening. Yeah, Sis Kensan Shiburi.
Okay.
You know, she will always comment on my status. One day around September, she sent me a screenshot of a flyer. I just want, let me just get a message that she wrote. I kept that message. You know, so she was introducing me to Fiso. I did not know Fiso before, but you know, this lady said something to me, which was a door opener. Because just bear with me, I'm getting the message now. You know, to me it has been a blessing. She said, "Mommy, morning, mommy, just screenshot for you if you want to nourish your skills." You know, it was a flyer. I don't know where she saw it, where she got it, but she sent it to me. And, you know, I never hesitated. And I just asked, where will be the workshop? And then she said in Puluko, and I said, I'm interested. I will not miss this one. And the workshop was to be in October, the 13th and the 14th of October, 2021. So that's how I met this Fiso, and it was because of this lady. So you see, you may not be in the flower business or any other business, but you know, you may know someone who is in the business, and you can also, you know, share the information with them, which can just bring a change and a turnaround in their business. So I want to say thank you so much, Sis Kensani, if you are watching, and you helped me. Look where I am today.
Wow.
It's because you never said that this woman will think I'm undermining her skills or her work, but you just share, you know, for me to, you know, to learn new things. I really appreciate.
That's a good one, because you know the temptation here is when you are told, especially when you're doing something and somebody says, hey, here's something to sharpen your skills. You can take it positively or negatively. You can say, oh, you think I'm not good enough, and you think I must get this one. It reminds me of my journey in the radio space. One day, while in a program talking to this lady, she had a master's in something, and then she had traveled outside. And the next thing, the lady talks about the public transportation in that country. And then she criticized a little bit of our public transportation. I'm telling you, when the show ended, a man called me. He jumped on me. He said, yeah, if your guest knows nothing about that public transport, let them not even try. Let them not talk about things they don't know. And I listened to this man, and I had time to say, hey, who are you? And who do you think you are? But, you know, I listened to the man, and I said, and then I ended up saying, sorry, sir. People express themselves, and sometimes they are not right. I'm very sorry. And he ended up saying, please, if you need somebody to help you research, I'm available for you. Guess what? That man, I don't know how many years. I said, yes, please, sir. And whenever I was doing a particular topic, I'll say, please, I need a research here. That man to date I was with the SABC. Now I'm on Bold Moves Radio. To date, that man is my asset when it comes to research. I can imagine if I said, I told him where to get off, I could have missed a great deal. So when people comment sometimes, they may not comment in a way you would love them to comment. Like we always say, some people are so negative. Even if you give them a bag full of money, they'll tell you, but this bag is not the color that I love. But the truth is, you must be able to seize the moment, to take the opportunity when it presents itself. Fiso, tell us about how you met with Mom Joy.
Thank you, Pastor Swag. You know how I met Mama Joylene? She attended my workshop, she just mentioned, here in Polokwane. So this is actually my second workshop in Polokwane.
Oh, yes.
The workshop was last year. So she attended last year flowers, and then she joined me in Johannesburg for balloons. So she drove all the way. So I conducted training and everything went well. But I was like, this woman, she's a pastor, she's doing flowers, she's got a shop. She actually inspired me because at that time I was still contemplating on opening my own shop.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, this lady, she doesn't have much experience about flowers, but she's running a shop already. What is stopping me? That actually inspired me. As I can say today, I've got a shop in Newcastle that is running, and this is the 7th month. And I can safely say everything is going well. And I actually thank Mama Jolene for that, because if it was not that eye-opening, and I was like, why am I scared to do this thing? If this person, I'm actually training her, but she's running a shop already here in Polokwane and she's doing well. So that's how I met her, and ever since we've been talking, we almost talk every week. She really inspired.
Opening up when one has opportunity or when one has information, because now you've got this training going on here in Polokwane, and I think she has been instrumental in putting together and the students that were to come. But at the very same time, Pastor Jolene, this is your home ground. This is where somebody say, hey, I don't want many people knowing this thing, otherwise they will take my business. Let's talk about a little bit about being open-minded and also understanding that empowering others, you are empowering yourself.
Oh, okay, I shall start. My mentor will finish. I think as a strike, greatness is in sharing. This thing of Godisam. We limit ourselves because the more you share, number one, you changing, or as you transfer the skill, you're changing someone's life. Because from there, they will go start their own business. Things will be better in their lives. And, I believe you cannot, even though you, like when you look at the school setup, your teacher that taught you in primary, you can pass them, continue and have degrees and all that. But, they will always be your role model because they taught you to read A, B, C. So that is how I live. I believe in helping someone to discover what is in them. And it works for me because I realize the more I share, the more I grow. And the fulfillment that I get is when I see somebody that I've helped standing for themselves and making a difference in their lives. I always say we need to stop this mentality of, close cooperation. You just want to work alone and, hide, you don't even want to share information. But the more you share information, the more you grow and the network grows, and you are able to stand and even do great work, because sometimes I can have a greater event or big event where I can call someone to say, hey, can we come and join forces and do this? So to me, it's so fulfilling when you help someone. And I wish we can do this, because that is how we can overcome poverty. Because the one I share information with, they've got their clientele, they've got their target market. I've got my clientele, you know. And like now, you know, when Fiso trains us, she I don't think she has got fear to say we will, you know, overtake her, because she's ahead of us. And in life, there will always be people ahead of you and people behind of you. So tell yourself every time to say, I will always learn from people who are ahead of me. And I will always share to people that are behind me.
Yes.
It's up to them if they will not use the skill, but may I believe iron sharpens iron.
Very true, very true. And now it's about 20 minutes to the hour 8. You know, time just flies just like that. And I see Cindy, see you when is it Mtetwa saying Usemhle. I think she's referring to you, Fiso. And somebody say, Usemhle. I wanted to read it in English. I thought it's awesome, and I thought it's Usemhle. And then somebody say, Lindy says, I'm so inspired. And then Kina Shiburi.
That's concern.
Oh, is she the one who?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so very much. And she says, I'm listening, mommy, and thanks a lot for that, taking it in for not taking it for granted. I'm so happy for you. And Onika Nkuna saying, it's true, Pastor. The more you share and change people's lives, yours also changes for the best. And Sister Danisa says, and what is that? This flower pot is coming after this today's training. Watch the space. This one of the students. Okay,
she's talking of the flowers.
These are the students, and you know, they are excited. They are talking about stuff that only them know. I don't know. Thanks to all our friends also on Zoom. Thank you so very much. And let's now look at ladies training specifically, like you already said, Pastor Joylin, and being unselfish, being able to share with others. We're talking of joblessness. So, when you look back, the trainings that you have done, how do you think they've changed and touched lives? What are some of the testimonies or some of the stories that you love to share with us from the trainings that you have conducted, the people that you have helped?
Thank you, Pastor. My trainings are more like a network session.
Oh, yes.
So we build relationships.
Okay.
So after the training, you don't just go home.
Okay.
After the training, we've got a WhatsApp group of like 300 students.
Okay.
So those people, they share information. They share their work. We motivate each other. So it's not only about events, flowers, and so on. So it's all about business. So most of the women, they are farmers. Some of them, they're owning hotels, beauty spas, and so on. So it's actually fulfilling for me to see them strive in other business rather than flowers. But some of them, they have actually excelled also in flowers after attending my training. So I feel like it's more like relationships, because in this industry, you cannot work alone. So after the training, you cannot just go home and work alone. So we need each other. So Mama Jolene might have the table that I need, and this other person will have the table. Then we share information. So I've got people from different provinces. So we share, we share our work. We order flowers for each other. So it's one big happy family. So I'm happy so far.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that also teaches us a lot, because that's the strength of women, if I may say. Women are able to build, you talk of women clubs, they are able to do it. Talking of working clubs, you're talking of all that, and it's working well even in business. And I think this is beautiful. And Pastor
before you continue, Pastor Strike, to
yes.
add on what she said, truly, Happy Pentals, it's a big family, and the people are selfless. You know, if you are stuck with something, you don't know where you can get it, you just post there in the group to say, ladies, where can I get this? And you know, in a short space of time, they will respond, they tell you, even give you the address where you can get it, different places, even where you can get it less. Even with flowers, remember when you are new in the industry, especially as a florist, you don't know the names of all these, the names of these flowers. You know, they've got names, Pastor Strike. It's not colored to say it's a rose, the yellow rose or what. No, they've got their names. Now you just post in the group and highlight to say, what do we call this? If you did not get it on the chart, or, you know, and there are those who don't have the chart, you know, but I want to show that, you know, you not just go there for training and you go back home, you're stuck alone, you don't know where to start. You know, some, they literally do even video clips where they you know, show you the process, starting from one, going through until you have the final product. So truly, it's very important to have a family where you belong to. And, you know, with our leader, Fiso, she's such a good leader, a mentor, a woman with a big heart. You know, she even courier flowers to Zimbabwe. And I want to say, if you are in Zim and intend to, you know, to get into this florist business, this woman, she's all over. She was saying, I'm sending flowers to Zim. And that is how she's caring about everyone who passed through her hands.
Wow. That's powerful. That's beautiful. Roland Balo is saying, encouraging it is true. At times, you need torchbearers to have courage and to stand up. And Pascal is one of the students saying, thank you, Pastor Jaylene, for your generosity. It's hard for people to do what you did, being unselfish, and invite us for training on what you are doing. God bless you. And then Buitumelo saying, yes, we are one big family. Buitumelo is one of the big family of Happy Pentals. Wow. And ladies, let's just talk about this is your terrain. This is your area of expertise. Let's talk about this training. We've got 15 minutes to go. Let's talk about the Polokwane workshop. How has it been? And I know you had a graduation this afternoon, and let's just talk a little bit about it. And it's continuing, It's continuing tomorrow. Let's just talk about the Polokwane workshop.
Yes, we are currently doing training here in Polokwane. We were invited by Mama Jolene. We are actually here at the Farm Life Gardens.
Oh, yes.
Sorry about that. Farm Life Gardens. So she is our host. So we conduct trainings. It's 2 days for flowers and then 1 day for balloons. So we just had our flowers from yesterday and today. So today we graduated and we had like a big ceremony, graduation ceremony.
Yes.
So this flower just behind me is one of the arrangements that was done by my students. And I'm so proud of them. They did very well. And tomorrow we will continue with balloons. And then I will then schedule other provinces. So our next training is going to be in Johannesburg, which is going to be on the 12th of October, and then driving down to Durban on the 21st of October, then Rustenburg, 16th November.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening. And if I may ask, is the training only for ladies or even gentlemen?
Training is for everyone. I've got, I think, about 20 gentlemen now in my group. It's just that they are not as vocal as the ladies, but they are there. And today we had Cyril. Yeah, so he also enjoyed himself. So it's not only about ladies, it's for everyone. I'm more about empowering the nation.
Wow. This is powerful. And Pastor Jaylin, looking at the workshop, what can you say, and how did it really meet expectation, more especially looking at your students and the delegates, if I may put it that way?
Yes, Pastor Strike, I'm so fulfilled. We had 12 students for flower arrangement. I'm so excited because they are so happy and they are so ready to work, because when we are together, we encourage each other to go and work.
Oh, yes.
So they are so excited, and even the things which they did not know where to ask or who to ask, they are clear. And also the fact that they will be belonging to the big family, they are so happy. I'm so fulfilled that I can be a bridge for someone to cross to their destiny.
That's very, very powerful. And Fiso already, she's talking about the trainings in Rustenburg and other places. And let's talk about the business side of it. The trainings, your business is training, and but your groups or your WhatsApp group, your students, they do different things. Like I said, what are some of the stories? Who specifically would you love to single out and just tell us a little bit about them? Because people must know it's not just training and then people go sit down and expect business to come, but there's something that they must do. And as they do that, business will surely come and things start happening.
Yes, there is definitely a lady that I can talk about who is in a Nelspruit, and she's also doing farming.
Oh, yes.
So the lady is also a full-time employee. I can't mention the company, but it's government. So she also does events and she also does farming. So she normally posts her work on Facebook. Like she's got a big farm. So I can safely say she is doing well, considering the 8-to-5 job, because it's really strenuous to have an 8-to-5 job and still excel in your business. Yes, but there are a lot of other people who are really doing well. It's just that, like, because of time, we can't talk about everyone, but my people are doing well. They are hard workers, I must say. They are hard workers. I'm also learning from them because in my training, we first start with introduction.
Oh, yes.
So I learn more from them because they also give me ideas of other business opportunities. So it's not all about coming to class, do flowers, go home. We learn from each other. So I'm also learning from them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome. And I see here, is it Mabel? Who says, indeed, I had so many answers from the group chat. What an awesome family. May the good Lord continue to increase you ladies. And of course, through Bold Moves Radio also, we've got opportunities to cross the borders of South Africa and explore opportunities out there. And I'm happy to hear that there's also you also supplying flowers to Zimbabwe. And recently we just spoke to one of the economic counselor in the office of the High Commissioner in Mozambique, where they had what they call, is it FASIMA or FASICA? But it's a Maputo International Trade Fair, where some of our South African sisters went there to showcase some of their work. And next year, I'm looking at you ladies doing something, going to Mozambique. You cannot imagine the business opportunities that are out there. And this is to say to us, let us not mourn over joblessness, but let us spread our wings and let us look around us. That is why if you are not opening up, you'll think a brother from Zimbabwe, from Mozambique, from Botswana is coming to take my job. But you might see them as business partners, going to Mozambique, going to Zimbabwe, going to Botswana. And I think as South Africans, those are some of the conversations that we have to start engaging on. And let us talk a little bit about the balloon one, because I know Pastor Jolene also attended that one. What can you tell us about it? Because, hey, I must tell you, we had Limpopo Gospel Divas, and we had a deco of balloons, and the place was just something else. I never thought balloons can be that smart, you know. They changed the whole thing. What can you tell us about that training before Fiso comes in and talk about it? Because tomorrow she's continuing with it. I don't know if the registration is closed for the balloons.
No, she will answer that one. But you know, I think one thing that we're realizing, times changes, Pastor Strike. We used to think balloons are for kids, and you'll get them, you know, in kiddies parties only. But it's the in thing now.
Oh yes.
Whether you are an 80-year-old, there is a gala, you know, and immediately when I went for training, the first thing that I did, my first experience of practicals, so I came back to church. I remember it was in November. So Christmas, I told myself, Christmas, I'm making a different decoration at church. And wow, it was so awesome. It was so beautiful. So I realized that even in the house of the Lord, you know, we can bring a change. And Christians, they love it if there are certain events or conferences where, you know, you create a gala where they take their pictures, you know, just to have memories of the events they attended. So, Pastor Strike, balloons are the in thing, birthdays, be a man, a woman, or girl, a boy, little ones, you know, it's the in thing now. And I will say to someone who's sitting there, not knowing what they can do, I will say, please try it. You'll never regret. And unlike flowers, balloons are not perishables, so you can try it.
All right. That's great. And I see Sharon Chichingoben, she's also into decoration, this one. And she says, this is awesome. True, this is awesome, Chichi. And then, Fiso, let's talk about balloons and also tell us if the registration is still open for tomorrow.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I started with balloons last year when I realized that when I'm doing my flower workshops, people are asking me about the balloon one. So I realized also that the balloons are actually trending. With any event, there must be balloons, whether like Mama Jolene has mentioned, whether it's a kiddies party or a 60th birthday, balloons are there. So that's when I realized, let me just add it to my list. And then I started with the trainings. So tomorrow we've got balloons and registration is still open. Anyone is welcome to join us.
Oh, yes. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Ladies, we are just left with about, is it 2 minutes?
Oh, time flies.
Time flies. I just want to take this time and just be good to my guests on Zoom. Sis Mabel, if you could unmute and just say hi and tell us your experience in a minute, and then so I can give each one of you a minute. Sis Mabel, are you able to do that on Zoom? You know, I cannot leave my guests on Zoom. Yeah, Sis Mabel.
Yes, hi guys.
You can hear. Can you hear? All right, Sis Mabel.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Yes. Greetings to you all in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I can say I am so motivated. I met Sis Fiso on this class. I didn't even know where to start when you take a flower to the posy. I've learned so much. I do deco and I do my events on my own. I do my flowers. I don't go to any florist anymore for flower arrangements. Every event that I do for myself, I arrange my own flowers. And thank you so much for that to Sis Fiso.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you.
And then is it Cindy Siwe Mtetwa? Cindy Siwe Mtetwa? Can you just unmute and say a word before we round up? Okay. Otherwise, Msa, are you able to unmute and say something, Msa? M-A-S-A-H. Yes.
Evening, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Wow, what an awesome interview with that young, vibrant, gorgeous woman that I met. I didn't even know her, but the minute I called her, she was so welcoming, and she's doing a great job. She's doing a great job. Her training does not only cover the actual process of doing the flowers and balloons, but it motivates us mainly as women. And she's going to go far. God bless you so much. Thank you so much, Mama.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And then I think it's Cindy Siwe say, I'm one of Fiso's students. I graduated June. Then July, I started my business, balloon styling. July 1, wow, I have been busy since then. Thank you so much, Fiso. May the Lord increase you. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you. And I would love to say, Fiso, your parting shots.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me. I would also like to thank my students for always supporting me, encouraging me, and for actually believing in me for upskilling them. Thank you for your support, and I love you all. And thank you to everyone that is listening.
To Pastor Jaylin, your parting shots.
Thank you so much, Pastor Strike. I just want to say thank you so much to Sis Fiso for your open heart in empowering the people of God. Let me put it that way, because so many of us who have discovered what was lying dormant in us, and it has brought a great difference in our lives and our families. And I want to say to fellow ladies, we have been empowered. Let's keep working. This woman, you realize that sometimes in a month, she has got 3 workshops in different provinces. If she can do it, we can do it. So let us arise and make sure that we run with that God has given to us. And we want to thank you so much, Pastor Strike, for having us and for allowing us to share our testimonies. We believe they have encouraged someone. Yes, in business, there are different seasons. But one thing for sure, it will not be winter the whole year. Summer, spring, it's coming. So don't give up. Don't lose heart. It may not have gone well in the past, but it does not mean it will always not go well. So encourage yourself as we keep the relationship in the group. Let's make sure that we encourage it. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so very much. Really appreciate. Thank you so very much, ladies. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor, honestly, to be sharing with you in this interview. I learned a lot. And I see Ivan Tombeni, also one of the students, saying you are doing a wonderful work, Fiso, empowering the nation. Thank you. Katekani, this Dr. Katekani Dekalela saying it was so wonderful and awesome to listen to powerful women entrepreneurs. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This was Love SA with me, Pastor Joylene. My guest was Fiso and Joylene. And we were talking about, finding your one thing and then running with it. I just want to say to all of you on Facebook, thank you so very much. All of you also on Bold Moves Radio, thank you so very much. Those of you on YouTube, I really appreciate you. I see also Priscilla Menga is saying thank you so much, Pastor Strike, for hosting the two hardworking ladies. I'm coming tomorrow. Yes,
she's one of the
thank you. Thank you so very much. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you so very much. That's how we wrap up our show tonight. This Love SA. Tomorrow, I'm talking to ladies that are into technical skills. Three powerful ladies. One, she's a builder. One, she's a welder. The other one, she runs a mechanical workshop. You know, I'm telling you, ladies are making it happen. Gentlemen, let's stop complaining and start doing something. Thank you so very much. I'm your host, Pastor Strike. This is Bold Moves Radio, boldly breaking barriers and limitations, raising the flag of hope for an African child. Until we meet tomorrow, thank you.